Trust me when I say you are going to want to watch every single second of this video, because what I'm about to reveal will have massive implications for the future of our club. Barcelona have just made Manchester United an offer that nobody saw coming. We're not talking about a simple cash deal here. We're talking about a player swap that could completely transform our midfield for years to come, while finally resolving the Marcus Rashford saga once and for all. The Catalan Giants are offering us a 20-year-old Spanish international midfielder, a La Masia graduate who has already proven himself in the Champions League against Real Madrid and Bayern Munich in exchange for making Rashford's loan move permanent. But here's where this gets absolutely fascinating. This isn't just any midfielder Barcelona are offering. This is Marc Casado, a player Manchester United have already identified as a target. A player our officials have already met with this month, and a player who could walk straight into our starting 11 to replace the departing Casemiro. We're talking about potentially solving our biggest squad weakness while offloading a player whose time at Old Trafford is clearly finished, all in one calculated move. Before I break down every single detail of this proposal, the financial implications, what it means for Michael Carrick's plans, and why this deal makes perfect sense for everyone involved, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because this story is going to develop rapidly over the coming weeks. Share this video with every Red you know, because the debate around this potential swap is going to be massive. And stick with me until the very end, because I've got some serious analysis on whether Marc Casado is actually good enough for Manchester United and what the alternatives might be if this deal falls through. Right. Then let's dive into the details of this absolutely massive story that could reshape our entire summer transfer strategy. Right, then let's get straight into this absolutely massive story that broke just this morning. Barcelona, the club currently enjoying the services of Marcus Rashford on loan, have reportedly made Manchester United an offer. But this is not just any offer. According to an exclusive report from the touchline, the Catalan Giants are proposing a player swap deal to sign Rashford permanently, and the player they are offering in return 22-year-old Spanish midfielder Marc Casado. Now, before we dissect at every angle of this potential transfer, let me lay out the facts for you, because this story has layers upon layers of intrigue. Marcus Rashford, our academy graduate, our once beloved number 10, is currently on loan at Barcelona, and by all accounts, he has been performing admirably in Spain. The 28-year-old forward has contributed 8 goals and 12 assists across all competitions for the Blaugrana. He has been particularly impressive in the UEFA Champions League, where he has been directly involved in 9 goals. Just yesterday, he joined Manchester United legend David Beckham in an exclusive club by scoring a direct free kick for 2 different teams in the Champions League. That stunning strike against FC Copenhagen in the 85th minute showcased exactly why Barcelona want to keep him permanently. But here is where it gets interesting. The loan agreement between Manchester United and Barcelona includes a purchase option valued at 30 million. Barcelona, despite their admiration for Rashford's contributions, are reluctant to pay that fee. Financial fair play, regulations, La Liga salary limits, and Barcelona's well-documented financial constraints mean that stumping up 30 million for a 28-year-old forward on high wages is simply not straightforward for them. So what have they done? They have gotten creative. They have offered Marc Casado as part of a potential deal to reduce the cash outlay. Now let me tell you about Marc Casado, because this is where the story becomes fascinating. From a Manchester United perspective, Casado is a 22-year-old defensive midfielder who came through Barcelona's famed La Masia academy last season. He enjoyed a breakout campaign and even earned a call up to the Spanish national squad in September after impressive performances against Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. This is a player with genuine pedigree, a player who has shown he can perform at the highest level. He is described by those who watch him regularly as possessing positional intelligence, ball-winning ability, and composure in possession. Sound familiar? Those are exactly the attributes we have been crying out for in our midfield. But this season, things have changed for Casado at Barcelona since Frankie de Jong returned to full fitness in early 2020. Casado has found himself down the pecking order under Hansi Flick. He has made just 19 appearances totaling 871 minutes. Even more tellingly, he has started only one of Barcelona's 5 games since the winter break. Flick has been preferring Erik Garcia as a midfielder, leaving Casado increasingly frustrated with his lack of game time. And when Gavet returns to full fitness, Casado's minutes are only going to decrease further, Barcelona needing to manage their squad size and salary. Limits apparently see the Spaniard as expendable, hence this swap proposal. Now, here is the critical detail that makes the story even more intriguing. Manchester United have already shown interest in Marc Casado. Multiple reports from the past 2 weeks confirm that United officials met with Casado's representatives earlier this month. We made an inquiry about his services. The club has been monitoring him as a potential replacement for Casemiro, whose contract expires at the end of this season. Casemiro's departure is confirmed. Both the club and the Brazilian veteran reached a mutual decision months ago, and last week it was made official. We need midfield reinforcements. We desperately need younger, more dynamic talent to anchor our midfield and progress the ball effectively. Michael Carrick, our interim head coach, has reverted to a traditional Toto Hunters Treated 1 formation, moving away from Ruben Amorim's much maligned 3-4-1 system. Bruno Fernandes is back in his natural attacking midfield role, but look at our options for the double pivot. Casemiro is leaving. Manuel Ugarte has struggled to establish himself as a regular starter, and there are genuine questions about his future. That leaves Kabi Manu as our only real long-term option in that area. We are desperately thin. Bringing in a player like Casado, a 22-year-old with Champions League experience and international recognition, make absolute sense, according to reports from COT. Offside and Football Insider, Casado himself is genuinely interested in a move to Manchester United. He is actively seeking more consistent senior minutes, something we could realistically offer given our current midfield situation. His profile matches what we are looking for perfectly. A young, energetic defensive midfielder, capable of anchoring the midfield, progressing the ball, and pressing aggressively. These are the exact qualities Carrick needs if he is going to build a team capable of competing at the highest level next season. The financial aspect is equally fascinating. Transfermarkt estimates Casado's value at around $10 million, though Barcelona would certainly demand more. Some reports suggest they value him at over $5 million, while others claim his release clause sits at $40 million after he extended his contract until 2028. If Barcelona are offering him as part of a swap deal for Rashford, it means they are willing to negotiate below those figures to secure Rashford permanently without paying the full €30 million purchase option. For United's perspective, this could be incredibly smart business. We would be offloading Rashford, a player whose future at Old Trafford appears finished regardless of who manages us, while simultaneously addressing our most urgent squad need. Danny Murphy, the former England international, said it best this week when he stated that Rashford is too far gone, that the fan base is generally turned on him, and that even if he does not get the Barcelona move, his days at United are over regardless of who is in charge. That is harsh, but it reflects the reality of the situation. Let's be brutally honest here. Rashford's relationship with Manchester United had completely broken down under Ruben Amorim. The Portuguese manager famously said he would rather play 63-year-old goalkeeping coach Jorge Vidal than Rashford, unless the forward changed his approach to training and professionalism. That is damning. That is a manager publicly saying a player is not meeting the standards required. The decision to loan Rashford out first to Aston Villa in January 2019 and then to Barcelona last summer was not made by Amorim alone. It was a club decision, driven by the hierarchy, to remove his wages from the books and give him a chance to rebuild his career elsewhere. And you know what? It has worked for Rashford. He looks like a different player at Barcelona. He is playing with freedom, expressing himself, looking sharp and confident. When he came off the bench against Real Madrid recently, he looked electric. He has won a trophy with Barcelona already. He is living near the Mediterranean, away from the scrutiny and pressure of Manchester. He has repeatedly said he wants to stay at Barcelona beyond this season. For him, this move has been career-saving. For us, it has been necessary. Now, Barcelona are trying to make that loan permanent, but they cannot afford the asking price. So they are offering us a player we have already identified as a target. This is where the swap deal starts to make sense for everyone involved. Barcelona get their man without paying full price. We get a young midfielder to replace Casemiro. Rashford gets to stay where he is happy. And most importantly, from our perspective, we address a critical squad weakness. But let me play devil's advocate here for a moment, because we need to examine this from every angle. Is Marc Casado good enough for Manchester United? He has made only 19 appearances this season and 871 minutes of football. That is not a lot. Yes, he impressed last season against Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, but those were isolated performances. Can he consistently perform at the level required to start for Manchester United week in, week out? That is the million-dollar question. Some will argue that if Barcelona are willing to let him go, especially to facilitate a deal for Rashford, then maybe he is not as good as we think. After all, Barcelona have Pedri, Frankie de Jong, Marc Bernal, and Erik Garcia as midfield options. If Casado cannot get ahead of them, what does that say about his quality? These are legitimate concerns. We cannot afford to bring in players who are not good enough. We have made that mistake too many times in recent years. However, the counter-argument is equally compelling. Casado is 20 years old. He is a Spanish international. He came through La Masia, arguably the best academy in world football. His skill set, his profile, his attributes are exactly what we need. The reason he is not playing regularly at Barcelona is not because he lacks quality, but because Barcelona have an abundance of midfield options and financial constraints that force them to make difficult decisions. If he comes to Old Trafford, he walks into our team. He gets consistent game time. He gets to develop under a manager in Michael Carrick, who understands midfield play better than almost anyone. Think about the midfielders we have been linked with recently. Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest, Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace, Carlos Baliba from Brighton, Joel Gomez from Wolves. All talented players, all performing in the Premier League, but all would cost significant fees with no guarantee of success. Casado offers similar potential, but comes as part of a swap deal that solves multiple problems simultaneously. There is also the Rashford factor to consider. Look, I know emotions run high when we talk about Marcus. He is an academy graduate. He scored on his debut against McKillen. He scored on his Premier League debut against Arsenal. He had that incredible 30-goal season in 2020. We gave him a lucrative new contract thinking he would lead us to glory, and then it all fell apart. The inconsistency, the poor body language, the questions about his attitude and professionalism, the public falling out with Emery. It has been painful to watch, but we cannot let sentimentality cloud our judgment. Rashford is 28 years old. He is on enormous wages. He has shown repeatedly that he cannot handle the pressure at Manchester United. Every time he hits a purple patch, he follows it with months of mediocrity. The fan base has lost patience. The club has lost patience. Even with Amorim gone and Carrick in charge temporarily, there is no appetite to bring Rashford back. The decision to loan him out was not just about one manager. It was about the club, recognizing that this relationship had run its course. And the harsh reality is that Rashford's stock will never be higher than it is right now. He is performing well at one of the biggest clubs in the world. He has Champions League pedigree. He scored a stunning free kick just yesterday. If Barcelona want to sign him permanently and are willing to include a talented young midfielder as part of the deal, we would be foolish not to seriously consider it. Let me also address the elephant in the room. Some fans will say we are selling our soul, that we are giving up on academy graduates too easily, that we should give Rashford another chance under new management. I understand that sentiment. I really do. But football is not about sentiment. It is about making smart decisions. It is about building a squad capable of competing for trophies. And right now, keeping Rashford does not help us achieve that goal. Trading him for a player who fills a desperate need absolutely does. The timing of this offer is also significant. We are in late January. The winter transfer window closes in a few days. Barcelona cannot complete this deal right now because Rashford is already on loan with them. But by proposing this swap now, they are laying the groundwork for the summer. They are testing the waters, seeing if we are open to this kind of arrangement. And based on our prior interest in Casado, based on our midfield needs, based on the Rashford situation, all signs point to us being very interested. Indeed, Michael Carrick, for his part, is overseeing a cautious January window with few outgoings expected. He is assessing the squad he inherited from Amorim. He is working out who fits his system and who does not. Players like Kabi Manu, Joshua Zirkzee, and Manuel Ugarte are staying despite limited game time because Carrick wants to evaluate them properly. But Rashford is not coming back. That ship has sailed. And if we can turn his departure into an opportunity to land a midfielder we have already identified as a target, then we should absolutely do it. Reports suggest that Casado is valued by Barcelona at around 5 million. The purchase option for Rashford is 30 million on paper. That is a straight swap with Barcelona, maybe adding a small fee, but the real value for us is not in the numbers. It is in what Casado brings to our squad. A young, hungry midfielder with Champions League experience. A player who can grow with Mayu to form a long-term partnership. A player who fits the profile we desperately need. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Would you take the swap deal, Marc Casado, plus maybe a small fee in exchange for making Rashford's move to Barcelona permanent, or do you think we should demand the full 30 million euros and use that money to pursue other targets? Do you believe Casado has the quality to succeed at Manchester United? Are you sad to see Rashford's United career end this way, or do you think it is time to move on? Get debating in the comments below, because I genuinely want to know what the fan base thinks about this potential deal as we approach the end of this video. Let me give you my personal take. I think this deal makes sense for everyone involved. Barcelona get Rashford without breaking the bank. Rashford gets to stay where he is happy and performing well. We get a young midfielder to place Casemiro and build for the future. Yes, there are risks. Yes, Casado is improving in the Premier League. Yes, some will question whether he is good enough, but sometimes you have to take calculated risks. And this feels like a very calculated risk with significant upside. The alternative is demanding the full 30 million and then spending that plus more on a different midfielder. Maybe we get Wharton for 50 million. Maybe we get Biba for 40 million, but why spend that extra money when we can get a player of similar potential as part of a swap deal that also resolves the Rashford situation once and for all? Make no mistake, this story is going to develop significantly over the coming weeks and months. Barcelona cannot finalize anything until the summer, but by floating this proposal now, they are sending a clear message. They want Rashford. They are willing to give us a player we want in return. Now it is up to United to decide whether the deal works for us. I will be monitoring every development, bringing you every update, analyzing every twist and turn of this saga. So make sure you are subscribed, make sure those notifications are turned on, and make sure you keep coming back to United Daily Update for the most comprehensive Manchester United coverage on YouTube. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Rashford-Casado swap deal, smash that like button, share this video with your fellow Reds, and let's keep this conversation going in the comments section. The future of Marcus Rashford, the future of our midfield, the future of Manchester United under Michael Carrick and whoever comes in as permanent manager, it is all connected. And this potential swap deal with Barcelona could be the first domino to fall in what promises to be a transformative summer transfer window. Thank you so much for watching United Daily Update. I appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to watch these videos, engage with the content, and share your passionate opinions about our beloved club. Until the next update, keep the red flag flying high. Glory, glory, man.